Hello, it's December 2024, and this video is inspired by a conversation I had with a person from the United States who was a state prosecutor. That's all I'm going to say. We had a very interesting conversation. We just met randomly, and we were talking, and I ended up sharing a bit of my story from Calgary, Alberta, and the things that I was whistleblowing and exposing out there with regards to the sex trafficking or abuse of vulnerable women at a nonprofit mental health organization, which then segued into police, judicial, and political corruption in the city, and how it involved Alberta Health Services and very influential people. The script that I've used for many years. And I ended up saying to them, and I've mentioned this in more recent videos, how I regret my efforts there, because it completely destroyed my life, physically and mentally, professionally and personally, and now I'm living in the aftermath. And I mentioned how the commoner people in society just throw away these people, but yet they want more people to do these things, but no one's around to help them during their time of their efforts, or especially afterwards. And I think part of it, people have watched too many movies and have romanticized too much about efforts, and there's a happy ending, and 99.9% of the time there's no happy ending. And I'm living proof of it. And I've stated over the years, I've met many people that no one has heard of, who have made their efforts on whatever it is that they were trying to expose or whistleblow, and their lives are destroyed. Now, during this conversation, they had said something which stuck with me with regards to regret. To regret something that you did that was for example, as a descriptive, a good cause, is an easier pill to swallow than having regrets for something bad you did. And I thought about it, and during the conversation I kind of try to make light of it, because it really hit home for me and had me thinking. But it doesn't change the outcome. Whether you do something with good intentions, for a good cause, for example, or people make mistakes in life and have those regrets, the outcome is usually the same thing. And I understand what this person meant when they said that. Kind of like having a clear conscience to do the right thing and sacrificed everything. And it was interesting because I had asked them, well, what would have they done in that type of situation? And the very first thing, now this person was very intelligent. The very first thing they said was, they paused for a moment and they said, was anything foreseeable? Like the repercussions that I had to endure. And they knew the answer, and I just kind of, there's no way that I could have foreseen anything. Because initially when I had told Alberta Health Services in confidence, I thought it was in confidence, for me it was gonna, that was it. I said my piece and I was just gonna move on with my life. But I suppose I knew too much, I guess, or whatever you want to call it, and they pushed, I pushed, and it just kind of escalated, and escalated very quickly by December of 2012, when I got dragged into it personally with a false accusation by one of the females who were part of all this. And this person, this female, became central to my story. And then things escalated even further when two now former police officers decided to do whatever they did, and then everything went sideways for them. And I couldn't foresee that happening either. And during this conversation, well, they ended up saying, if you can't foresee how things would unfold, then, you know, you can't really be blamed for it. And they said they would have probably done the same thing and whatever. And we were talking, and most times you can see, and we're relating this to people getting into legal trouble and so forth, you can pretty much see everyone's story who they do bad things. They run head first into trouble and make things worse for themselves, and you can see it coming. Like when, even during my time in law, you're hearing people's stories, it's like, I'm thinking, you couldn't see this coming? Like, there's big neon signs. And you have people who, again, their efforts are trying to do something good, and you don't see anything coming. But as I'm talking right now, society overall, the commoner, cannot distinguish between the two. Either they go one extreme and say people who do bad things don't see it coming, or they do see it coming and they apply that to both scenarios that I've described here. But having regret for doing the right thing as opposed to having regret to doing the wrong thing are two distinct regrets. They're different. And you know, I mentioned how people over the years have asked if I would do it again, and my answer really has been, I would hope my answer would be no, because it's not worth it. I caused my hell on earth as a descriptive, and really didn't put a dent in anything. And that's why when I hear truthers and freedom types and everybody else trying to say, oh, we can make a difference, you're not making a difference with anything, because of the power structure in the civilization. And as you go up, people become above the law, untouchable, and there's double standards, even two sets of laws. Like, for example, in Canada, there's two sets of the Canadian Criminal Code, which I've mentioned before over the years. So I just really want to highlight the two different types of regrets. And perhaps this person I was talking to is right in the sense that at least there's a clear conscience. But from my perspective, the end result's still the same. And that's all I really want to say. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share.
Listen to this and write it down if you can't remember it. You're never going to outgrow warfare. You simply must learn to fight. I hear people say, when is it going to get easier? When you die.